Okay, so greetings, this is Errol Jumbo. One of the problems I had with the chicken webcam application was that the screen had to be on all the time, and for example, when Google two-factor authentication came along, is that it messed up my messed up the application because the Google authentication became foreground, and then because I was using my daily driver phone, not the old phone, is that when I didn't click on that, that then came in the background and the app stopped working. And the other problem is the screen also needs to be on all the time, and there's no way to control that. Even if I have the option in developer tools, options to, when it's charging, to the screen to never go blank. So I was thinking of creating a dedicated Android application, either using Java, or for example, just turn this into a web app that you can install locally. One of the problems that I don't want to do that is because on the old device it went up 108, so I have to download an older SDK and use older type things to do coding, which I don't really want to do. I still want to keep this way because it's more cross-platform in that it works obviously on iOS, on Android, and any feature, for example, Linux phones or any other featured phones, or for example, even a Raspberry Pi. That's what I wanted to keep. I wanted to keep it as simple as possible. Okay, so I found a tool. It's only for Android at the time of this recording. It's called SCRCPY. It's spelled as SCRCPY. And I have an article on it on jambo.com/control-phone-camera-from-desktop-using-screen copy. That's SCRCPY. So it's a free and open source application that connects to your Android device over USB or a TCP/IP connection. So I'll explain what those two are. So this way, it doesn't require, as you can see down here, it doesn't require root access or an app to be installed on the device. So that makes it really useful, and it's cross-platform for Linux, Windows, and Mac OS. So for my particular use case, I just need to use the phone camera in order to view the video. That's literally all I need. So the reason I was taking photos every 3 seconds in the webcam application is because I didn't need the video, and I said like I just need to see just once in a while. So even 3 seconds is probably too much. I could even do 5 seconds if I really wanted to, just to, like, if the chickens are in danger, I can obviously go outside, scream, or do something else. So now screen copy comes with way more features. I'll go over them when we actually go to the website, such as controlling audio, capturing the screen in different video quality modes, and even using gamepad controllers to control the device. As I promised here, what is an IP? You see I have a glossary here. That's an internet protocol address. It's a numerical label that is assigned to a device connected to your computer network. And what is TCP/IP? Well, that is Transmission Control Protocol/Internet Protocol. That's a framework for computer networking. That basically means that it's a standard that different devices can connect to each other. So for example, here locally, I have a router. So for example, my desktop, in order to go to the internet, is connected to the router. The router is what helps it connect to the outside world through the internet. And then, for example, my phone is also connected through Wi-Fi. And then also the old phone is also connected to Wi-Fi. Now, the old phone doesn't need to be on the internet, but I do it because Google actually still, not just Google, some other apps are still updated. It's Android 8 on the old device, as you can see down here. It's the Sony Xperia X1 Ultra. It is only updated, thanks to Sony, only up to 808, but it does have the latest web browser. So that's, I don't mind it being connected to the internet, but I really don't need it to be. And it takes photos and cameras on the front and back camera. So one of the reasons I like using this device is you can see when it's charging, it uses 10 watts. This is now my daily driver, the Samsung Galaxy S21 FE 5G. and that one is updated to Android 14, and that's the default camera application for this use case of the testing of screen copy, and also takes photos and videos in front and back cameras. And this one can use higher wattage for, that's usually for fast charging. I don't really need to be fast charging. So this is going to be my daily driver for, meaning that it won't be retired to do something like this for a while. So, but in the future, obviously it can also charge at 10 watts. It's a little bit slower, but that's fine as well. So what you can do is you can download screen copy from their website. It's screencopy.org, or from the GitHub page. And I'll explain to you why I went to the GitHub page instead from their from the main site when we get to the site. And then the commands I used are right here. It's very simple. You can also see a screenshot here. So most of the tutorials you see on the internet, they're based on the assumption that you're going to connect it to USB. And as I said, in my case, it will eventually be outside. So I don't want to run long cables, USB or not. So I just want it to be wireless. I will mount it when the weather gets better. So you can run this command SCRCPY two hyphens and TCP/IP. That is if you do not know the IP address, because remember we're doing wireless. That's if the USB, if you connect to the USB just one time, so that way, see, this is what will happen. It will give you the IP address. So once but you might already have the IP address. So there's other ways you can get the IP address. For example, if you can connect to your router, the router will show you all the devices connected by IP. Then you can grab it that way. Or if you have a terminal connected to your device, you can go down there and just type in, if IP, and it will give you the IP address as well, the local LAN IP address. So that's another way to grab it. So once you have that, you can run it with the commands. I'll show you the commands if you actually expand here. So as you can see, if the device, if you don't know the IP address, you just run it. But once you do, then you can do this and pick a port number. So I use this default 5555, that's fine. And then I will connect to it, and you'll be able to control the device remotely through Wi-Fi. Now, if you only have one device, of course, you can just run this command. It will connect to it automatically, as you saw in the screenshots, and I'll show you as well. And this is what will happen. You can see, I can see the coop, and that's all I care about. So usually the girls run into the back here and into the trees there, and they get lost sometimes. Like yesterday was very cold. They actually got lost, so I had to go look for them. But overall, that's fine. So the main reason I need this is because if there's a fox, I can go and chase it away. That's basically it. And I'm not too worried during the day about wolves or hawks or crows, because they make noise, and the girls will be aware, and they'll go hide, so that'll be fine. So this is the video. And now let's go over to this screen copy site. So here we go. You can see screen copy. It's an Android screen mirroring tool. So this will allow you to, as I said, mirror your Android screen onto your device and then control it. And I'll show you that in a few seconds. So if we go to the download page, you can see here you have one for Windows 64-bit and Windows 32-bit. You scroll down and it'll tell you how to install this on other systems. You see in Linux they say apt install screen copy, and if you're a Mac, they'll tell you to use brew to install it. Now, this is actually a good option. I believe now it is cross-platform, and you can do this on Linux and also on Windows. However, this Linux one they suggest, this is if you have a Debian-based system. So you can use apt. Obviously, I have Fedora, so this would not work. So what I did is I went to the GitHub page, and I went to the releases here, and I just, if you scroll all the way to the bottom here, right here. So what I did, I just downloaded the Linux version, and I'll show you how that works. But I just want to explain what some of the features of screen copy. So as you can see, you can control your device using your desktop keyboard, mouse, sometimes even audio. I'll show you that in a second. As you can see here, you can it's very light and the performance is amazing. You see it's 30 to 120 frames per second. I don't need that much. I'll be happy even with 7 frames per second. And the quality is 1080 all above. It has low latency. That's amazing. Low startup time. That's true. I've actually tested this. And you see it's free and open source. There's no account, no ads, and no internet required. And you know, as I said before, you don't need to install anything on your device. You don't need to root your device. This is strictly on your desktop. So as you can see here, you can do audio forwarding if you have Android 11 Plus. Remember, my old device is only Android 8. You can do recording, virtual display, mirroring, device off screen. So this is great because if the screen goes off screen, you can do something to bring it back. You can see here there's you configurable quality, camera mirroring, 12 plus, and Android 12 plus, sorry, and mirroring as a webcam. This is Linux only. I don't need this. You can use a physical keyboard and mouse, and you can has gamepad support, meaning that if you have a gamepad on your desktop, you can actually use that to control, maybe like play a game or something. So this is making, and you have OTG mode as well, and there's much more. I'm just touching on a few of them. So as you can see here, the prerequisites is you have to enable USB debugging. And I said if you know the appearance, you actually don't need this at all. That's how amazing this is. Okay, so let's head over to the command line here. Before I do that, I want to show you what I did. Okay, come on. Let's go to the downloads folder. Okay, here's my downloads folder. You can see this, I downloaded this, version 3.1. And what I did was I extracted it into this folder, and you see it comes with 5 files. There's no hidden files. So all you need to do is run this on the command line. That's literally all you need to do. So as you can see here, I just ran it, TCP IP, and then it tells me my IP address here. Now, if I have multiple devices, I think it found the first one, that's fine. But if you have multiple, then you would put equals and type in that specific one. And you see, this is how you can tell it's running. So if we go back to the article, I did make it easy for you. So right here, it's saying, see, this is, if you don't know the IP address, if you know, you can just put it in there. If you have one device, it will detect it. So you can just run this without, if you know the IP address, and obviously it doesn't change, you can just run this without USB. Okay, so that's it, and I'll show you a preview of what it actually looks like when it's running. So this is what it looks like when it's running, and you can control your device. Looks like it froze, so let's stop this. Actually, let me stop this and run it again. It's already connected. Where did it connect to? I think something is frozen. I don't see it. Oh, maybe it's my screen recording. It's messing things up here. Could be. But as you saw, yeah, so that was the screen that comes up, and then you can control your device. It's decided to act up again here. Let me actually go check on the device. I'm going to pause this, and I'll be right back. Maybe the device is something's wrong with the device. I just pause this. Okay, I'm back. I found something very interesting. The battery on the phone was at 9%, so it looks like this does use a lot of battery life. Okay, it still can't connect, it's still offline, it's still booting. But yeah, it's at 9%, so I'm not sure. Okay, so that's fine. But I did, what I'll do is I'll put some, I'll take a video I made earlier and I'll add it to this video. So that's basically, right now it's saying it's offline, it's not really. Hopefully it comes back on when I'm, when it's finished booting up. Okay, finally got it working. After reboot, I have to unlock the screen and get it working. But you see, as you can see, it's you can do things. You can completely control your phone. As you can see here, this is the old Chrome browser running with the webcam application. The web application, chicken webcam application, and you see the camera. As you can see the difference. Here we go. I can obviously switch the cameras. And what you see here, this is just the red container I'm using as a stand for the camera. So you can see, then back to the back camera, and you can see, so it does work. Okay, so that's it. Okay, so we'll go back here, we'll finish up. I don't want to spend too much time on this. So yeah, as you can see, I did get it working here, and I said I'll in the screenshot, and I was able to record. Unfortunately, it looks like it uses a lot of battery, even though it's plugged in. So maybe it's plugged right into the wall, so that's probably the best charger for that old device. I'm really surprised. That's really weird. Okay, so this is the video. Yeah, I'm gonna stop here, give it one more shot. Hopefully it's finished loading. Okay, let's start. Okay, that's enough. All right, back to the article here. I will add some video to from the previous video I made. You see that you're working. I'm just gonna finish that so I don't waste too much time here. So you can get screen copies. It's an easy way to, once you meet all the requirements, you simply download it and you can begin using it immediately. You connect it to USB. If you don't know the IP address, if you know the IP address, you can connect it immediately right to the IP address. Okay, let's see down here. If you enjoyed this, please consider. Sorry, I forgot to mention that every day they'll be hosting a live stream. Visit ojambo.com for details. You scroll down to the footer to see the different channels. Be sure to subscribe, like, follow, and leave comments for more frequent content. If you enjoy this, please consider supporting me, purchasing one of my WordPress plugins at ojambo.com, enrolling in my programming courses at ojamboshop.com, buying one of my programming books on Amazon, search for Ojambo, the links in the description, and hiring me for your programming and app development needs at ojamboservices.com. You can also become a donor at ojambo.com/donate here, or obviously here in the header as well, the easiest one, the button. And also, as promised, if you scroll down to the footer, you saw the channels where I do the live stream every single day. Okay, so this is going to be a short one, and see you guys in the next one. Thank you.